When the lights go out, the real world fades away and something else takes its place. Welcome to When the Lights Go Out, where your darkest encounters come to life. This is where we share the stories that keep you awake at night. Tales of haunted houses, ghostly encounters, monsters lurking, and dolls that seem alive. These aren't just stories, they're real experiences, submitted by viewers like you. People who face the unexplainable when darkness falls. So if you're ready to peer into the shadows, to hear what happens when ordinary people encounter the extraordinary, stay with us. Because tonight, we're about to share a story that will make you question what's really there when you turn off the lights.
Hey everyone, welcome back to When the Lights Go Out. Tonight's story is one that still gives me chills every time I read it. It comes from a viewer named April, who shared her terrifying experience of a Ouija board and what followed her after. So turn the lights down and let's get into it. Back in 2018, April was living at her grandparents' house in a suburban area in Virginia. That Christmas, she decided to get her dad something he'd always wanted, a Ouija board. She said that her dad was kind of an oddball, just like her, curious about the weird and spooky things, and she thought it would be something fun that they could play with together. But by the time he actually wanted to use it, he had already moved in with her stepmom. And her stepmom refused to let it in their house, so he gave the board back to April. One night, when no one else was home, she decided to try it for herself. She lit the candles, turned off every light in the house, and sat down with the board. Before she started, she'd watched videos on YouTube, and she also Googled the rules. She knew the do's and the don'ts, and what she thought, she was ready. For the first 30 minutes, nothing happened, and she started to feel discouraged, like nothing was going to come about this, and that maybe she should just give up. But then the planchette started to move. It spelled out a name, Agatha. Agatha. She said she was 5 years old, and that she used to live there, and that she had been murdered. She said, April said she felt sad for the little girl, but something in her gut told her it was time to stop. So she said goodbye and ended the session properly, just like she watched on YouTube and Googled. At least, that's what she thought. But that night, something happened that she will never forget. She woke up in the middle of the night, the room surrounding in darkness, and the air so cold that she could see her breath. But she couldn't move. She was completely frozen, unable to speak or breathe. And standing over her was a tall, shadowy figure. She described it as a long, black, and masculine, like a shadow person, and it was choking her. She could feel the pressure on her throat and the weight pinning her down. And no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't break free. Finally, after what felt like forever, it finally stopped. She gasped for air, jumped out of the bed, and ran straight to the bathroom. Completely terrified, covered in sweat, breathing heavily, and with a look of fear in her eyes, she looked in the mirror and her heart had dropped. Across her chest were 3 long claw marks. Her wrist, her thighs were bruised like someone had been holding her down. But she had been alone, and no one was home, and no one heard her screams. When she told her dad, he didn't believe her. He said it must have been a bad dream, or maybe her imagination. Her family thought maybe she just bumped into something because she was just kind of clumsy. But the marks were real, and that wasn't the last time it happened. For years, the same dark figure appeared, holding her down, choking her, until finally she turned 21 and it just stopped. Now April is 23, and she still remembers every detail of the incidents. And I say incidents because it wasn't just the one. It continued after, again and again and again, for as many times as she could remember. And each time was just as terrifying as the last, if not more. And she convinced that whatever she spoke to that night wasn't just a little girl at all. It was something pretending to be one. So what do you think? Was it sleep paralysis? Or did April accidentally invite something darker into her life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, when the lights go out, sometimes you're not the only one in the room.